Simon was looking at me.
The Body Shop connects you with the hottest fitness models in the world. Learn the backstage secrets that most successful bikini divas, fitness models, and bodybuilders use to dominate their competition and land on the covers of magazines. Only here at the Body Shop will we allow you to listen and talk to the best of the best in fitness competition. If you're passionate about bodybuilding and fitness, you have found your new home. All of us here at FTNS Radio would like to welcome you to the Body Shop.
Body Shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your host, Andre Brick St. Clair.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Body Shop. Thank you for allowing the Body Shop and FTNS into your homes and in through your airwaves. Only here will you learn the backstage secrets that the most successful bikini divas, fitness models, and bodybuilders use to dominate their competition and land on the covers of magazines. Now, in the studio with me, I have my agent. Used to be my best friend until he got mad at me. But now we back cool again. Hey, they can't hear nothing you say.
All right, wait.
Don't ruin your introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that definitely knows how to take a joke, Mr. Brian Canone.
What's up, man?
What's going on, B? How you doing,
Mad
man?
at you. Mad at you.
Think about, hey, man, I'm lovable bricks. How in the world you gonna be mad at me? That just doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And also in the studio with me,
Special guest.
Yes. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and bring him in
first
properly.
Off, I see him as our intros playing, nodding his head in appreciation.
That's
for that professional
Absolutely.
introduction of the Body Shop.
Right. Absolutely. Okay.
Successful bodybuilders. Just goes hand in hand with this guy.
Okay.
Bennett Streets.
Nah, what kind of wait. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. You know what? We're not even gonna edit that. Hold on. Seriously?
You're throwing me for a loop. If I tell you to do something off the cuff, all right, one take bricks.
Hey man, I mean, you know,
Let me hear it.
That's just what I do.
Let me hear it.
Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for the first time ever to the Body Shop.
Wow.
This man has dominated the Fitness Atlantic stage. This man has taken the NPC by storm. This man is single-handedly one of the greatest natural bodybuilders to ever grace this God's green earth.
Wow.
Please welcome to the Body Shop, Mr. Bennett Streets.
Wow. Look at that. And he has a green shirt and a cross on it, too. It's just the whole green earth.
Hey, man.
Best guy. Here he is.
Hey, that's what I do.
That's what I do. I got to say, before we get started, I would be remiss if I didn't say it's people like you, Brian, Andre, Fitness Radio, that is the true pioneers of this up-and-coming wave of health and fitness.
I'm going
to be the first to say that, and, you guys doing some great things, and I am just honored to be here and be a part of it.
Well, man, you know what? Listen, man, honestly, B, you know how far back me and you go, and it's really a pleasure to have you here. I've actually followed your evolution in the sport to where you are now.
Wow.
I didn't mention in your intro that you really are a trainer to the stars nowadays. When you first graced the stage of the NPC, you stepped on stage with a package that is very rarely seen by bodybuilders, whether it's of yesterday, today, or future bodybuilders. Right. And that was, you came on there with full muscle bellies. You came on there shredded. You came on there ready, but you had like one of the tiniest waists. Right. I mean, I think you was on stage with like a 28-inch waist. Yeah. And I think you had like 32-inch thighs, and you just looked like the letter X. You know what I mean?
There's certain people that come into the careers of bodybuilding that are just like, all of a sudden there's like this gifted person, and all of a sudden it's like you hear the whispers of the name throughout throughout the state. You know,
that's true.
there's the
That's
whispers of like, oh, wait, you know, you got to see this guy. And then he goes in his first show, bang, wins the whole thing, beats everybody.
First show.
Well, you know, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but the second show I ever did was Brian's show at was it Milford?
Milford County.
Milford County.
This is going back to 1995 or 1996 or something like that. Not to give away the age.
Don't worry about it.
Well, you did. The first show was the collegiate.
Was the Mike Dusa?
Mike Dusa put together. He's a chiropractor in Connecticut. He's very much into bodybuilding. Competed before. Put together the first show for college-aged athletes.
Excellent show.
And it was good. What he did is he gave away a lot of scholarships.
Oh, okay.
He was really ahead of his time when it came to keeping the whole education and the whole thing about health and fitness. This is going back in the mid '90s. You know, his vision was very strong, and you know, I miss doing his shows. I did it 2 times, and I enjoyed it.
Okay. He, you know, I was at the second one, I believe, and it was a different style of show because, you know, he had to use like a gymnasium and put the stage together, and then behind that had all the black curtains and stuff, you know. But then he had folding chairs in there. But you know, he was able to work with the school. He was able to really put something together with a college that had sponsored, you know, scholarships. For different activities and for the people. It was a great idea. He did struggle with it. He had a very hard time putting it together, making it work. He did it for 2 years, and then he started working with the MPC Connecticut State after that.
But
So
you know, he did have Robbie Robinson come out one year, you know, legendary bodybuilder. Then he had Russ come out.
Russ Testo?
Yes, Russ
Testo was
the
like,
next year.
yep.
So he put a lot in there. Matter of fact, his first year, he gave away some pretty good prizes. I believe a Rolex watch was the first one that he gave out, you know, engraved, which I happened to lose in a couple of bodybuilding shows afterwards. I don't know. I brought it to a show, and I put it down, and there you go.
You know what it was, man? The fix was in, baby. The fix was in. You know what I mean? You can't be walking around the streets of Connecticut, you know, with a Rollie or something that doesn't say the St. Clair collection. You know, you can't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Precious stuff.
Absolutely. Okay, you know what? Let's take this interview in a different direction for right now. I'm going to start off with my first typical question, and there's something I ask every person that comes up here.
Sure. What?
And that's Bennett. When did you first fall in love with fitness?
I fell in love with fitness when I was about 10. That's when I started training, seriously.
Seriously started training at 10?
Seriously.
Okay.
And when I was actually in 8th grade, I went to a school called St. Luke's, which was actually 6th through high school. Okay. And I was the only 8th grader to play varsity football.
Really?
I was really serious about conditioning. Fitness was my top priority. When I was fortunate to go to high school at St. Joseph's, I ran track, played football.
Right.
I definitely, as hard as I could, and I got some great results, and then on the collegiate level as well. Right. We just transformed into health and fitness when I was done with my collegiate career. So I've been a lifetime fan of fitness. Right. I've been a gym rat, if you want to call it that, and someone who just always loved to get results and to help other people. Right. Which motivated me to be a personal trainer for over 15 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
With the new direction that this industry is going towards, seems like natural bodybuilding in and out of itself is dead, and a lot of things are now starting to move towards the male model categories. You got physique, which is a new category coming out. You have muscle model coming out. As a bodybuilder, how do you feel about that?
As a bodybuilder, I welcome it. Okay. Me having done what I've done and seen what I've seen, and have the confidence that bodybuilding has its place, and I think yes, we have some other categories that, let's say, wasn't here when I started in '95, but and I will say this, most of those categories are going to have people that train like bodybuilders. Right. Some of them may just will be bodybuilders. Right. And if you want to get the ultimate physique, guess what? what, you're going to need the knowledge of how to become a true natural bodybuilder and how to train and get those muscles right.
Right.
Okay. Bodybuilding promotes, appealing to the eye. So
Right.
all those other categories in health and fitness are appealing to the eye. Bodybuilding does it at the ultimate level.
Right, right. But do you feel as though the sport of bodybuilding has now, for lack of a better term, turned into more of a freak show than it was back in, let's say, Arnold's heyday, or even back when Robbie Robinson actually guest posed at one of the shows that he was talking about?
Right. Bodybuilding has definitely, taken a page, in that direction of a different type of bodybuilder. In terms of, how it's done, the one thing that has to be consistent, no matter if you're, a professional IPB bodybuilder or a natural bodybuilder or fitness or any of these categories that just came up that I don't know of right now, your nutrition and your training still has to be there. If it's not there, then nothing's going to happen. So it all comes back down to natural bodybuilding, because that is the essence of everything. Correct. Training and nutrition. Right. Without that, you can be in any category, any profession that's requires some physical ability, and it's not going to happen.
Right, right. Where would you like to see the sport of bodybuilding go? Would you like to see it come full circle, or would you like to see it evolve into something different?
I would like it to go to a place where people will appreciate a true physique. Quality physique. Right. A physique that you just know that person worked hard for. Not necessarily, Brian, I've judged shows, and there have been some bantamweights that beat super heavyweights.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
And everybody was up in arms, but if you look at it, the conditioning, the training, I would like to see a conditioned, trained, physically, ready to go athlete as the ideal body. Okay. Right. The ultimate all-American athlete, if you will. Something that will just say, hey, this is the ideal.
Right.
Is there anybody you think of when you say that?
Go ahead and say his name. Go ahead and say his name, because I'll say it if you don't.
That's a trick question, right? That was a trick question, and I'm trying to be modest, but I will say that I will. I'm going to stay on the radio. I have been training, and I am actually taking a full year to train. Okay. Which is by far the longest that I've ever done. Right. And I will hopefully catapult people to motivate them to get in their best physique, which I think as Brian knows that I always have a tendency to do, and that's what I want. So I hope by my physique I will motivate other people to try to get in their best shape that they ever can. Okay. And hopefully I can motivate them to do that. Right.
Yeah. When you mentioned earlier that you've seen bantamweights beat super heavyweights. Yes. I personally witnessed that. Yes. I believe I was the voice on stage that
yes.
I think we
announced that upset.
I think, both you and I were standing next to each other when the little piece of paper came up from the judges' table. We looked at each other and we go, open it up. Who is it?
Well, you know what it was? I remember seeing the winner's name. Okay. Matter of fact, let's just call it what it is. Okay. Lou Santiago. Okay. Right. Great guy. Pitbull training facility and all that good stuff. I nicknamed him the Giant Killer for a reason. Yes. I've seen Lou go into these shows and beat guys who are 6 feet tall, 200 plus pounds. Lou is all of 5'4", and maybe 165 pounds. If that.
You know what? He was in a bantam. He had to be under 150, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I got the piece of paper and I saw Lou's name, as chosen unanimously at that, I knew it was going to cause some riots all over the message boards. I knew that the bigger guy, who was Ron Rich, would not understand why. But it goes back to what you said. It's the quality of the physique. A lot of people have now gotten into this nonsense of playing the size game. They figure, I'm bigger than you. So that should equate to me being better than you. And we both know that that's not the case.
Well, absolutely. And I would have to say, I've been blessed enough, to say that there's actually, since I started competing in 95, there is only one show that I place below second.
You remember that show?
That would be the NPC Junior Nationals.
Okay.
I placed fourth.
Right.
Besides that, I've had the luxury to either win or come in second, and that is including the heavyweights.
Right.
But it's the quality muscle. It goes right back to that. If you're staying in condition, you may look better at 195 versus 205. Brian, I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm trying to get back down to actually light heavyweight, because heavyweight just wasn't my thing.
Right.
And so I'm tired of playing the weight game and getting back to the basics. So it's going around full circle for me.
Okay. Let's talk about something that's slightly different that we normally don't talk about on this show, and that is when you critiqued your physique, okay, and you realized that playing the size game or competing as a heavyweight probably wasn't the best thing for you, and now you're deciding to go back down into the light heavyweight category, which I believe is 195 and under, correct, Brian? Between 189 and 195?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. The ego and your friends that had to come into it, like, oh, what's up, B? What's up, yo, man, you getting smaller? You ain't lifting no more? Like, how does that play into a decision that you make?
Right. Well, first, before I have to say that no matter what I do, no matter what training I have, I go for it with 100% confidence. If you don't have that confidence in what you're doing, it's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, I'm literally right now in the gym, okay, doing high volume training, and high repetition training to get deep muscle fibers. And you can't go heavy when you're building this type of muscle. Fibers. So I'm literally, on the tricep machine, 30, 40, 50 pounds, where somebody else may be doing 3 times the amount of weight, and they're wondering, what the heck am I doing?
Right.
But I'm totally comfortable with it because I do know what it's going to, evolve into.
Okay. When I want you to talk to the first-time competitor, the person who's never really stepped on stage, and they're reading, Flex magazine, they're reading Muscle and Fitness, and they're seeing, all of these terms, high-volume training, and so on and so forth. And you just mentioned that you'll go over to the tricep press down rack and you'll do 30 pounds for 40, 50 reps or whatever it is.
Relatively, it's just a high rep, something where you can get 30 to 50 repetitions out of it.
Okay. They may think that going light and doing that many reps, you will actually start to burn off muscle because you would actually go into an anaerobic stage as opposed to an anabolic stage. How does that differ from what it is that you're talking about?
Well, when I talk about that, it's all about my nutrition. I am someone that gets nutrients in every 2 hours. So I'll go to the gym with protein shakes. I'll have my nutrition. There is no muscle burning. I try to minimize that as much as possible. So that's when you're the nutrition. You have to have the fuel to do it.
Right.
If you don't have the fuel, don't do it. If you don't eat right, something happens, in your day, and you don't eat right, you just don't work out. It's counterproductive.
Okay. Now, how are you building this thick, dense muscle fiber with such lightweight? I'll tell you what, don't answer that because I got to cut to commercial.
All right, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to The Body Shop with Andre Bricks and Bennett. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
down there, and a lot of girls came down, and everyone bench pressed, and just good fun time, and raised a lot of money, and we had like ice pure, sent a lot of products, gas did it, yeah, it was hot. A lot of companies really came through for us, like Europa, and they came in and they helped us out, really great. It was an awesome event. We had a lot of good times, and it's so funny. We had Brian on the show talking about it, and I saw that you did that, and they asked us, one of the girls asked him, why did you do the bench press? And he told me straight out, he goes, I'm not walking that far. It was an easier way to make it work for you, but I'm happy you guys do those charities. That's great.
Anything to bring exposure to it and get more.
All right. Yes. Welcome back. This is Brian. I'm here with Bennett Streets. We're at the Body Shop on FTNS Radio.
Good, Brian.
What's that?
Good, Brian.
Very good.
Bricks.
We're waiting for Bricks. Waiting for Bricks. He went out to chase some girls, and he will be back. So, Bennett, Andre had left off with a question for you, and he was asking you about your style of training now that you're doing high volume and how you maintain the muscle. And he's huge on trying to think he's going to lose all his muscle if he touches a lightweight.
Right.
That's what Andre thinks. If he lifts a lightweight, the muscle's it's going to hide.
Right.
It's going away.
Right. The answer to that, again, it's, I'm not to sound like a broken record, but, if your nutrition is there, you'll not lose the muscle. This type of training is actually more on watching your nutrition than anything else. So, having the fuel to do the workout and to recover in a timely manner, as long as the intensity is there, you will get results. Okay.
Do you take a long time in between one set to the next, or do you speed it up?
No. Right now, it's not only a high volume of training, but it's high volume with drop sets and actually incorporating, one body part to the next. I mean, I could probably do anywhere between 3 to 5 different exercises before I take my break.
Okay.
And that could be on one body part. I mean, I really try to fatigue it out to the point where I'm trying to get that look that I'm trying to do, which is the hardness look from back in the day.
Well, I mean, when you came out, and started doing these shows, I mean, it was just. You think the conditioning you did was a lot of that training that you had from all those years of running and sprinting?
Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. I was, even though I got ready for a bodybuilding show, the reason why it took me, maybe 4 or 5 weeks to get ready is because I was in condition from the years of track and field.
Were you as lean when you first started?
When I first started competing, I think I was probably like 6-7% body fat, and then when I competed, I got down to like a 2% body fat.
Right, but
so,
you had abs before you started.
I had abs before I started, but it maybe wasn't in that much condition because my nutrition wasn't as fine-tuned as you do when you get ready for a bodybuilding show.
Right.
But yeah, all of the muscles.
So you
were there.
kind of built up to your first show, though, right? Even though your body fat got lower, you still gained.
Yes.
Did you gain weight up to the show, or you weighed about the same?
Actually, no. I probably had to lose about 10 pounds and get down to. My first show was 171.
Right.
171 pounds as a middleweight. All
right, get this man back on his headset. Mr. Bricks! Mr. Bricks, do you hear that he was 171 in his first contest? Bricks was probably 5 when he was 171.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days.
So he competed. All right, so first show 171. Second show somewhere around the same.
Yeah, I stayed about the same. 175-ish. I was a little bit heavier. I took a couple weeks off.
Okay.
Had pizza. Yep.
A few years ago by, you started doing the IMBF and you turned pro in the WMBF,
the
right?
WMBF. Yes, that's correct. That was 2001.
2001?
2001.
Okay. Connecticut show, right?
Yeah, it was Nancy Andrews' show that I turned pro.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Northeast Classic.
Yes, the Northeast Classic. Very good show. Still run show to this day.
Yep.
I got to give a shout out to Nancy.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and that was a large show. When you did that show, there was no pro events at that, and the show would still get 150 contestants showing up, all bodybuilding. They didn't have fitness. They didn't have a lot of different categories. It was a huge amateur level, natural bodybuilding show. But when you weighed in at that one, where were you then? Still about light heavy, right?
Yeah, I was light
Middleweight?
heavy. I basically, have been blessed to basically gain about 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds a year steadily each year since day one. So, me starting at 171, and I think the last show I did, I was, 205, which I think I was too heavy for, but nonetheless,
Right.
I've been pretty steady on my gains.
People, I think your physique is just fantastic when you do come in between like a light heavy, somewhere in that range.
Right.
I mean, it's hard because you come from this thing about putting on muscle. Everybody wants, it's bodybuilding. Everybody wants to be bigger. They want to pack on the muscle size. But when you really look at your physique, it's still super impressive. When Ben is 200 pounds and he got abs, it's super impressive to look at his physique. But when he's 175 to 180, just hard as a rock.
Oh.
I know you're shaking your head.
No, I'm not shaking my head. See, the
Okay.
thing is, like I said, I've known Bennett. Me and Bennett go way, way back. Okay, this is prior to me knowing Bennett in the bodybuilding realm. Okay,
Yep.
we actually ran track against each other as I went to Stratford High.
That's right.
Okay, he went to St. Joe. So
Okay.
me and Bennett got this history. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've known Bennett as a competitor long before ever stepping on stage. So I've seen Bennett look granite type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you had the physique of like Dorian Yates, and I've seen you when you was doing the Flex Wheeler thing, when Flex stepped outside of his comfort zone and just started getting bigger and lost some of that great detail.
Right.
And the thing was,
Still one of the best bodybuilders to this day.
absolutely, hands down, uncrowned
Gotta put it
Mr.
out
Olympia
there.
champion.
Absolutely.
Hands down. So I've seen Bennett go from, and I say this with all due respect, I've seen you go from your best to not so much.
I would agree.
You know what I mean?
I would agree.
And now to watch him say, okay, you know what? I'm ready to come back.
Right.
And I'm going to take a full year. I'm going to dedicate myself to this. And it's because I just want to take my body, I want to take my career, I want to take my passion for the sport to a whole different level. Speaks volumes for somebody that's not just going to rest and rely on his past successes.
Right.
A lot of people do. A lot of people, they do it once and they say, I did it before and I'm kind of good with it. I always felt there's a lot of people, even on like the mailing list for the shows and stuff, I just kind of leave them on there. I always feel like you have to have once you did it once, a piece of your heart got to be in.
Absolutely. The first time, I tell you, the first time I put on posing trunks, I put them on backwards and reverse. I didn't know how to put them on, and it was the most frightening thing. And,
Right.
when they called my name, I forgot everything that I was supposed to do.
That's right.
But by the time I stepped on stage, I had a drive that is still lit to this day.
Okay.
And this is the reason why I'm telling these stories, is because I want the fitness world out there to climb on board. I'm challenging everybody that's listening to dedicate themselves to get into the best condition that they can. And then I want you to log in to Fitness Radio, and I want you to tell your success stories. And if you need any help on the way, it's people like myself, Brian and Andre, that are here.
That's right.
That will actually give you the information that you need.
That's
Plain
true.
and simple.
That
All we
is
need
true.
you to do is to tell us your story, and we'll help you out.
You know what, Bennett? That gives me an idea. I'm gonna mention it now, but I'm gonna go over the fine details with my producer, with my agent. But
Not your friend, though.
no, he's not my friend anymore, because he's accusing me of shaking my head. But I think Bennett just inspired me to do something.
Yeah.
And I think what I want to have is a joint venture. So I want to have the Body Shop / FTNS Radio first annual fitness challenge.
Wow.
Okay.
Excellent.
And I want you to be one of the coaches, one of the judges.
Excellent.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna.
You sure? You sure now?
I'm positive about this. Okay.
You want me to be the coach? I could be the coach.
Listen.
Oh boy, they're in trouble.
We're gonna have to break this whole thing down, all right? So I promise you, details will come, all right? But that's what we're gonna launch. That's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have celebrity trainers, okay? Not the people you see on NBC, but we're gonna have Fitness Atlantic celebrity trainers. Right. We're gonna have WBFF celebrity trainers. And what I want to do is I want to challenge people, just like Bennett said, to get into the best possible shape of your life. And anything that we can do to help, we will do it. Whether it's diet, whether it's motivation, whether it's you need someone to talk to because your mind isn't right, we're going to have that. Right. I'm going to reach out to people like Terry Benedetto, Lorianne Marchese, Tiffany Tillinger, and we're just going to see how we can get this ball rolling. So you're hearing it here first on The Body Shop. But let me get back to something with you, Bennett. Okay. And I want to talk to you about something I like to call Beyond the Reps.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I like it. Beyond the Reps. Like right. Is there an intro for that? Is there an intro for Beyond the Reps? Beyond the Reps. Yeah, you gotta be something, weights dropping or something, some glass breaking, something,
You see what I get here? You see what I get here?
Excellent. I love it.
Cuff or something, I don't get no music, no applause.
That's it.
I'm telling you, it's tough being bricks. You know what I mean?
Beyond the Reps. Okay. All right.
Beyond the Reps. Okay.
I'm ready.
I want to ask you this, right?
A little drum roll.
It's too late for that right now. Okay. With all of the successes that you've had in bodybuilding, okay, looking back on your career thus far, because it's still continuing, who would you say gave you the best challenge on stage?
There's no way for it.
Ooh.
Beyond the Reps.
No, but seriously, guys. No, seriously.
You know what? I like that music. Save that.
Yeah, save that.
Save that music because I'm gonna do a voiceover later.
Bodybuilding to me was such a personal thing. It really was. I took the same concentration and the same drive as it is for track and field.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
We had his challenger on last week.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Okay.
Who was that? Oh, boy.
All right. I'm going to give this guy a little shout out right here.
All right.
I nicknamed this guy the 5-foot assassin.
Okay.
This gentleman is named Marcus Taylor.
Okay.
And Marcus is very outspoken when it comes to fitness and bodybuilding in general.
Good. Okay.
Now, what Marcus does, or did, is I liken it to like a WWE event. Okay, Marcus would be like what Stone Cold was to the WWE at the time. Come in there and talk a whole lot of ruckus. Whether or not it's backed up still remains to be seen. August 27th. Okay. But you know what? He always said, "Listen, I'm not the prettiest dude down there, but I'm the best, and it doesn't matter about your size, doesn't matter how tall you are. I can beat you, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." So, that's what Brian is actually referring to. So, big shout out to Marcus Taylor. But okay, so you're still waiting for your best competition. That's fine. Let me ask you this right here.
Sure.
There's a gentleman that competes. Okay, he has been billed by someone who shall remain nameless, Brian Cano, as the greatest natural bodybuilder ever. Okay, this person's name is Morris Mendez. Me and Morris are kind of cool. Me and you go way, way back. All right? I would love to see you at your best, Morris at his best. What do you think of that?
This is not the first time I've heard this.
Right.
First time I competed against Mo was at Brian Cano
Fitness Atlantic,
1998.
2000. 2000 had one of the 99 was the first Fitness Atlantic.
Okay.
Coming from the AAU days when Bennett was with me before the days of Fitness Atlantic when we were doing the Milford County to Mr. Connecticut. Right. So 1999 comes out. First year, Palace Theater. We put this thing out. Big show. Everybody sees it. All of a sudden, 2000, the best natural bodybuilders of the state of Connecticut were on that stage.
And that's what happens.
Minus me. Watch your mouth.
When people see, and Brian, it goes right back to what I said earlier. When when people, like Mo Mendez, when people like, myself and other type athletes in Connecticut come out at their very, very, very best, it motivates everybody else to do the same.
Definite.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm challenging everybody to get back in their condition so we can go ahead and take fitness where health and fitness, natural bodybuilding, where I think it should be, which is on top.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing this to be second place. And Brian, as you know, when I ran track and when I compete and when I train, I don't train for second place. So anything that I do, I want it to be first place. So let's go.
Bennett is very competitive.
Yes, I know this.
Very competitive.
Yes, I know this. I know this.
But but not to escape your question, because I don't escape questions.
That's right.
At the time, and I think still, I believe he's a heavyweight, and now I'm going to be a light heavyweight. So it will have to be an issue of him winning his category and me winning his.
That year, Bennett was a middleweight, and Mo Mendez was a light heavyweight.
Right. I was a very light middleweight.
I'll tell you what,
71.
Robin Chang was there. He used to work for the company that were Federation's weight. He now runs the Mr. Olympia. His eyes were all on Bennett.
I believe that. I'll tell you somebody else I would like to throw up in the mix, and this is this person at their best, okay? And this is also a former Mr. Milford County winner and competitor. That's Ralph Remy. You and him on legs, you and Mo upper body. I don't know.
Ralph.
I already know the history between you and Ralph. So
no. This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I will say.
Hold on. Here's when you can say it.
Okay.
Right after I take this commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. You listen to The Body Shop. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The Body Shop. I am your host, Bricks. In the studio with me, I have Mr. Brian Canone, and I have the unbelievable Mr. Bennett Streets. Now, right before the break, I was posing a couple of questions out there and want to see how Bennett compared himself against, some of the best out there. And I touched on a gentleman's name by the name of Ralph Remy.
Right. Yes.
And it's only because I want to see, the comparison of the quads. You know what I mean? And you were getting ready to say something, and unfortunately, I had to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I give much respect to anybody who is in the bodybuilding industry. It's a lot of hard work. Legs are not my strong point, and they never have been, but it never stopped me from beating Ralph Remy, plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Hands down. See?
I think I competed with him since I've been, in the beginning when I was a middleweight. He was heavier, and nationals, if I was first, he was second.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the way it has been, and that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to keep it just like that. All right. And the reason why it's going to be that way is because Bennett Street said so. Plain and simple. I'll just leave it like that. But Ralph knows the reasons why, and the reasons why things will be remaining the same. So
no
we'll
matter
keep it
what.
Like that.
No matter what. You know what? I kind of like that. Okay. Let's get back to something that's a little near and dear to your heart.
Sure.
Okay, and that is personal training.
Yes.
And that is nutrition.
Yes.
Okay, can you walk us through a typical diet day for Bennett when Bennett is on? Like when you're getting ready for a competition, when you're focused, when you don't have clients, when you don't have people like Harry Connick Jr. That's right, I said his name. What's up, Harry? Listen, reach out to me again, all right? I'm sorry I missed your call. But
the best conditioned entertainer that I have ever worked with.
That's true. Okay.
Hands down.
So walk us through a typical diet day for you, though.
Oh, man.
I want the backstage secrets. I want to know how many. Don't tell me egg whites without telling me how many egg whites. Okay?
Actually, I'm not really a big fan of egg whites.
Me either.
So we got something in common there again. In the morning, what I like to do is I like to make sure that I get some quick nutrients in. So it's usually a protein shake.
Okay.
Loves the shakes, this guy.
Yeah.
I see him with a shake all the time.
I'm a firm believer in the shakes.
I have to.
Yeah.
There's just, something about getting the nutrients in within 15 to 20 minutes that will really, really benefit you. So in the morning, besides the water, I have a protein shake. Then I wait probably about an hour. Then I start having my solid food, which a lot of people don't agree, but I start with the heavy stuff. The chicken or the turkey with usually pasta, or if I'm getting close to a show, that carbohydrate will turn into sweet potato or terrible rice cakes if I have to do what I gotta do. That's fine. But I'm usually to sum it up, I'm eating every 2 hours, literally every 2 hours. Now it doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. No, you will not gain weight if you eat late if your metabolism is right. A lot of people think that eating after 8 o'clock. You're going to gain weight. Actually, you may be teaching your metabolism to slow down.
That's right.
Because you don't have any nutrients in, and the next time you do it, your body is just going to head for the hills in terms of packing on everything.
Right.
So as long as I'm up, it's a 2 hour window where I eat.
Okay. Now some people may believe. Okay, not me, but some people out there may believe that every 2 hours is a bit on the extreme. Okay, now for the first time bodybuilder, the first time fitness competitor, the listeners of the Body Shop, they're thinking, how in the world can you eat every 2 hours? So does that mean like you eat at 12 and you finish at 12:30 and you're eating again at 2 o'clock?
My stomach starts literally getting hungry between a 2 and a 3 hours time frame. And now when I'm not in condition, that will increase to eating every 3 to 4 hours. But when your metabolism is going, when you're doing your cardio, when you're limiting the fats, when you're eating clean, minimizing the milk, not eating the cheese, all the things that really,
all the good stuff.
Basically. The stuff that tastes good.
You
then, your body then just uses the bare essentials and exit in, coming in, coming out, and it's just a constant feeding.
Okay. Yeah. How would somebody go about speeding up their metabolism to eventually get up to eating every 2 hours?
It's a combination of the proper exercise, the cardio, the type of training you're doing with the weights to promote a fast metabolism, i.e. high volume training. And you have to really regulate the type of nutrients you're getting in. Carbohydrates to fats to protein.
All right. What's next for you? I understand that you are going to take, a year to train, but do you have a show that you have your eyes set on?
We actually have more than a show that we have our eyes set on. Another thing we have in common, I have an agent. I got a manager.
That's right.
By the name of Brian Canone. So what I'm going to do, because, I'm the type of person where I'll just give it all out. I'm going to let Brian explain briefly what the whole idea or concept is that we're going to do. But it's definitely going to be geared for everybody to get in the best shape possible. So, Brian, go ahead. Why don't you tell them?
Well, we've been talking about this since 2005. Bennett is an all-around athlete. He's just not your typical bodybuilder.
Right.
So, I've seen him do personal training, in my gyms with his clients, and the variety of different workouts he would do, the type of clients he had ranged in all different ages. A lot were actually middle-aged women that he trained, a little older, and I'd say from like at least 35 and up. At that point was the most of his clients. He did a lot of balance work. He did a lot of core exercises. Bennett makes up his own exercises.
Yes, I do.
Loves to make up his own exercises.
It's about functionality, though.
We talked about coming up with a program, an overall package. This is what I talk about, like ebooks and online DVDs and workouts and different exercise programs, combining everything in an overall. And I still remember drawing the circle out.
I still have that, by the way. I still have that.
All the different elements of types of training, nutrition, and workouts that were combined. And this is from 2005, and just really saying, you know what, we need to go to a track. And we need to videotape some of these workouts that he's done throughout the years, from sprinting, from running, from drills, and all these different things. And, every once in a while, I'll call up Bennett and we start talking. I'm like, hey, did you see what just came out? This thing looks just like what we talked about. Let's get on this
it's
already.
Like, man. Right?
Stole my idea. Stole my idea.
So how about this? How about this? When you actually get him out telling us what it is, okay, how about we just trademark it?
Yeah.
Right here, right now. Okay, it's already live on the air. You understand what I'm saying? So we're just going to trademark the damn thing. Now, but what is it, though?
What's the name of the domain name that you had purchased a couple years ago?
I have quite a few, so and I need to make sure that they are still, in my possession. So I'm not going to mention a darn thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad somebody.
All right. I'm not mentioning a darn thing until I make sure that it's still there. But it will be an exciting name, and I will come back on the show, and we will be letting everybody know about it in due time.
Absolutely. You see, what we're getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, is how to market yourself,
right?
How to create a brand for yourself,
right?
And then how to create yourself into a brand. You know, a lot of people, when they get into this fitness industry, they have what's known as the Cinderella syndrome. You know, they believe they're going to go in there, they're going to, step on stage, they're going to win it all, they're going to get on the covers of magazines, and then, their life is just, that's it, they're set for life.
Right.
And we all know that that's not the case.
Glass shoe? Is that what he needs?
No.
They could maybe find a glass shoe. They're not going to cover a magazine that way.
Right. See what I'm talking about?
Right.
Hey, look here. I'm looking for a new agent, if anybody.
I think the fact of the matter is, I think, Brian, you can agree, and Andre, I know you can agree, that plain and simple, winning is just not enough.
No.
Winning a show is not enough.
No.
Winning a fitness pageant or bikini is not enough.
No.
You're going to have to, because, ideally at any given day, anybody is vulnerable to becoming second place,
right,
i.e. somebody first place.
Right.
So with that being said,
well, I've always said the process of getting into shape is more rewarding than the place that you get in a contest.
Absolutely.
And it's hard for people to understand how valuable that process is.
That's because people have been taught their whole lives, all of us included, that you work hard and you win. You know what I mean? Like, we all came up, Bennett, track.
Yes.
You know how it is.
Right.
Second place is the first place loser. It is.
Right.
Nobody remembers second place. So that's the mentality that people have when they're entering this show. I think people need to really understand the concept of what I tell every competitor backstage that steps on stage before I grab that microphone, and I huddle all the guys up together. I said, listen, the hardest part is done. You did the diet.
Absolutely.
That was done.
Right.
You hopefully practice your routines.
Right.
That's done. Right now, this is the time for you to have fun. Because you never know what could happen. You might never be able to get back in that type of shape, get into that type of shape, track your progress, help somebody else out.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have lost sight of that along the way.
I would agree.
Well, the difference I try to think too about fitness in general, and you think of different fitness celebrities and who's really a fitness celebrity, you don't always think about, which, to us, and the three of us staying there, we go, oh, name your favorite fitness celebrity, and we go, oh, Arnold, or
no, I won't say Arnold.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing to you what you do to me. You don't like it. But you know what, though? Before we run out of time, Brian, and I don't mean to cut you off. I would never do that intentionally. But Bennett, is there anybody out there that you would like to thank?
Oh, man. Yeah, I would like to thank, Brian Canone. I would like to thank Fitness Radio, Mike Dusa, my family, my mother and father, and, of course, Almighty God. If he wasn't here helping us, we wouldn't be here right now.
Absolutely. Okay, Brian, now I'm going to let you finish your thoughts.
Well, I'm just saying that, fitness celebrities, you want to start thinking, you do these shows, you get in shape, the process of getting in shape, you keep that in track, and you take all your pictures and video.
Correct.
That's a product in itself. That can motivate people more than your first place trophy is going to motivate
Definitely.
people. Show them what you did.
Right.
Yes. Well, so, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are just joining in very, very late, we have Mr. Bennett Streets here in the studio, in the Body Shop Radio, in the FTNS studios.
Yes.
And what I want to ask you now, Bennett, is there a philosophy or a quote, or is there anything that you live by that you draw inspiration from?
My first year that I competed, the first NPC show was the Gold's Classic.
Okay.
And that was held at the
Schubert. Yeah.
And NASA El Somebody was there, and he just couldn't believe that I was a natural bodybuilder. He sat there and he was just like, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it. I'm telling you, I don't believe it. But when he signed his autograph, he said, train like there's no tomorrow. And I still have that. And that philosophy I have basically taken to every time I go into the gym. So train like no tomorrow. If I'm training a client, we're training like there's no tomorrow. We're going to get results. And if you focus and have confidence, you will get your results.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out or possibly wants to get back into the actual sport? And what would you say to them?
Well, if you're trying to get back into the sport, obviously you're motivated, you want to do it, so you're a competitive person, that's great. If you're just starting out, I'm going to recommend that you surround yourself with people who know how to do it and do it correctly and do it safely, and make sure that you are the best looking athlete that you can possibly be. So I recommend, yes, contacting Brian Cannone, call the show, ask questions to Andre, call me up, email me. It's very simple. It's my name at hotmail.com. Very simple. We will help you, and that's my best recommendation for somebody that just started. Call Fitness Atlantic. Go to the website. Right. Go to a show. Go to Brian's show.
Yes, definitely.
The best run show, the best featured show, the best stage show that I can ever see.
That's right.
Go to it. Educate yourself. We have tons of booths there. We have tons of professionals there. Last year, you had Tony Horton there.
Yeah.
And how cool is that? You know what I mean? You can see him in person. You can see him at 2:00 in the morning. I mean, it was great. But that is my answer. I mean, it's right here. We're a phone call away. We're an email away.
Definitely that. I really, really wish that people would understand some things, and that is, not all of us are narcissistic. Not all of us believe that, we have all the answers. I mean, I learned something from Brian. Brian learned something from me.
Right.
Me and you, we go back and forth constantly about training and what to do and what not to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, ladies and gentlemen, we really are here to help you.
Absolutely.
I mean, what we're trying to do is trying to take fitness outside of the realms of just a gym.
Yep.
I know Brian's vision is to take fitness outside of just the quote-unquote bodybuilding stage, and trying to present it and make it back to what you said. Bring it back to the beginning. Bring it back to mainstream.
Right.
Do what Arnold did for it, except let's do it on a grand scale.
Absolutely.
Let's do it on a natural scale.
Right.
And let's incorporate everybody. Let's get rid of the term bodybuilder and fitness athlete, and let's just make it a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Okay. And like I said, I'm going to talk with super producer Amal. I'm going to talk with Brian. I'm going to get Bennett's insight on it, and I'm going to work on this joint venture.
Going.
Yeah, the challenge. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, we will have the Body Shop FTNS first annual fitness challenge, but I want Bennett to come back on the show. But ladies and gentlemen, if I can leave you with anything, let me leave you with this: success breeds envy. The best revenge you can have against a jealous person is to become more successful. Keep God first, and everything will be all right. Hey, listen, we gotta go, man. This is Bricks. I'm signing off for Brian, Bennett, super producer Amal. I gotta go, y'all. I see you when I see you.